So we're back looking at Nas once again. New week, new opportunities, new setups. And as we see last week, the last weekly candle, how we closed right above this structure. As soon as the market opened today, we took a deep dive over 300, 400 points to the downside, coming right into previous structure here. Very nice setup. So far, price is giving a nice, rejection of the structure so far. Nothing too crazy, right? These are the next lows that we'd be looking to target if price did decide to continue the way down. This liquidity here, these previous week lows, are a key area for liquidity to get swept before the continuation. And if it wants to go lower, there's also some other areas here, some leftover imbalances, other areas of liquidity as well here and there. More structure down here as well, like I said, just in case. But as of right now, what we have, we're just paying attention to this area right in here. We're in between this daily structure right here and these lows from the previous week. So price is in this area right now. This is the daily time frame. Let's go down to the 4 hour real quick, get a closer look. Again, massive drop off to a much more secure, safe buy zone. If you do draw the Fibonacci from the lows to the highs, we do see right around this area as well, we do have some potential 50% and below, some discount buys that just so happen to be right next to the previous week lows. So if price did, again, want to work its way down, definitely wouldn't mind taking that. That's where buyers would step in. But in the meantime, we're going to pay attention to structure right here with current price action. And we can see on the 15-minute, we at least want to see a 15-minute break of structure to the upside. I know we have some breaks in here, but again, something a little bit higher, maybe up here would be solid. But technically, any one of these highs counts. Right, we actually broke above these highs right here. Boom. So technically, price did give a confirmation. You would use these lows down here as your stop loss. Very minimal risk as well. About 42 pips, 40 pips. Me personally, I'm still holding positions as we speak. Right, we actually caught positions from these lows. We're still holding from these lows right here, and these areas up in here. So as price works its way down, as we get more setups, we'll be stacking more entries. So I don't mind being in drawdown and allowing all of this to play out, this whole section here. So when price finally does work its way, then you've been able to stack some decent orders in here, which then will carry your account for time to come. So super good. And then again with let me check SPX smacked TP last week, so that was a solid trade. I actually closed these out, but yeah, same thing. SPX super solid, sold off as well. Not as crazy as Nas, but if S&P wanted to come back and retest this structure, definitely wouldn't mind that. And I can definitely see that. And there's lower zones as well. We'll see. Or maybe it wants to drop just as low as Nas. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Let's check on US 30 real quick. Same thing. US 30 had a drop. Nothing too crazy. Came right back to the structure. Right in there. Very nice rejection so far. Coming back into this previous accumulation over here. So this does make sense. We're also breaking some structure down here. Haven't broken these quite yet, but that'll be another indication. Maybe this counts. Maybe this counts as a break. We technically did. So check your broker. Make sure the candle actually did break, but that's valid already. Looking at Bitcoin. Looking at Bitcoin on the daily. We're still looking good. We're still above 100,000, 99,000. We're still holding this area. right in here. Ever since we did break above this structure right here on the daily, this level, we broke above, full body candle, came back to retest multiple times. So technically this is still holding up, but again, price can easily come and sweep any one of these lows right in here. Any one of these lows can be swept. These lows, these lows, these lows, any liquidity in this area can be swept before we continue higher. And these wicks just so happen to hover right around 100,000, 99,000. So very solid area to potentially continue price if we don't hold from where we already are. Still looking good. Ethereum still struggling, but we are still technically holding in this buy zone. If price does want to just, go crazy and sweep these lows, that's also a possibility, right? Price may want to travel a little lower, attack this liquidity here, and then continue its way up. So always keep that in mind as well. That's why it's important to build a position in the market under leverage, give the market some room to breathe and actually play out over a longer period of time. That also helps you stay more committed to the trade when you're not so overly leveraged. And like I said, you're able to hold that drawdown without being so emotionally damaged. And over time, you'll see that you'll be able to, stack your positions, be more patient, wait for more setups, and not be so glued to the screen and stressed out. So super important. Super important. XRP looking good. Came right back to $3. Came back for that retest. Also came back into previous buy zones. We broke the structure recently. Last week, we broke above these highs. Boom, we have more structure over here where price came right into. Perfectly took off, came right back to these highs here. Everyone took their profit, and then we continued to consolidate. Technically, though, this is a setup. We have liquidity, low, and these highs. We sweep, and we did break above the highs. So this technically is, we're still here in this buy zone. So we would want to see some type of setup over here. We'll see what happens this week. I know this week is a very, very crazy week. It's all red folder news. Sheesh. And I also did drop this in the chat earlier with gold. Gold is respecting this structure right in here. Let's go ahead and fix this on the 1 hour so far. We also broke all this structure, and this is still the setup over and over, especially here. Boom. The sweep. We broke above the highs. We got the retest and flew. Came back to the same area for the same retest. Possibly going to give us, some breaks of structure to continue. If not, it wants to go lower. We have some more lower zones in there, some imbalances. Again, if price gives you the retest of a structure, then technically the candle becomes balanced. But without a retest, you see very clearly that there's still imbalance left. Tried it here, didn't quite make it. So there's still some of that left over. And then the same thing back here. Right, we broke this structure, never fully came back. We broke this structure here as well. And then what is this candle? Boom. So gold playing off. Buy limits are already set here. Have another buy limit there and there, just in case. Wants to go lower. Silver, not really. I think I still have the same position. Yeah, I believe I still have this position open. Nothing too crazy. It hasn't really moved. But I do have some more buy limits set again. If it comes back here again, I'll be entering anything right here and below. So just being patient with that. I'll be updating you guys in the chat. And then oil is coming to the buy zone. I like this area a lot. Again, this is a nice little setup right over here. A low, the high, the sweep. We broke above, came back into the zone, respected the stop loss, came even higher above these highs. We dropped again back to the same zone, still respecting the setup right there, and even gave you more confirmation. Boom, break above, and then price flew. Price flew dramatically. Very clean, very textbook. And then as we see, price slowly worked its way down back into this original buy zone, which I would not mind continuing this trade. If it wants to go lower, that's fine. There's other lower zones. The reason why I do like this area is because we did break structure. We are holding, these levels right in here. We're holding this structure. We're holding some structure down here. So I like this area a lot to continue the move. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think as well. Euro USD's been slowly accumulating, working its way up, giving you the setup. Boom, the sweep, break above, came back for several retests. Boom, boom. Finally broke above more highs. And just giving you more confirmation. Giving you accumulation over and over as price works its way up. Super solid, super textbook. Euro USD, if it comes back down anywhere here, valid buys. Got the Fibonacci. Boom, very close to the discounts. Easy work. Maybe if you think it'll go lower, you can use the whole swing low. Getting these areas down here. You never know. So far, structure is looking very, very good. And then again, going back to indices. Right, all-time highs on US 30. Very close. Very close. We are getting some downward motion. No worries. Coming back to retest these previous structure areas there, right? We broke these lows. Very nice retest. Boom. Okay, market opened up with vengeance. But again, we came right back to previous structure. On the 4-hour time frame we see here, we have a previous high that we are respecting. Boom. There's more structure down here as well. Buy limits at each one of these areas, just in case you miss it. And then as price gives you more evidence in between, that's when you go ahead and add on any other positions you want. Super, super solid. Take this off. Take that off. Again, that's the same structure. And as you see, every time before we broke above structure, we had more of the setup. Boom. Sweep. Break above. Retest. Retest. Gone. Even though this retest came lower than the stop loss, there's a whole another setup over here and here. So still valid. Boom. Price goes haywire. Comes right back down. Same previous buy zones. Definitely like it. We'll see what happens in here. I want to see a better break above than this. We'll see what they want to do. I know we have this happening all week. Pull up here. Forex Factory. Let's check it out for the week. Monday, nothing crazy. Tuesday, nothing too crazy. And then Wednesday, we got some red folders. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Even, Tuesday as well. So again, Monday, tomorrow, 6 a.m., Certified Snipers. We are going to be trading live New York session together. So be on the lookout for that. And we do have some news at 7 a.m. Nothing too crazy like was said earlier, but we do have this red folder down there. So maybe in between tonight and tomorrow, we'll see a setup, or we'll already be in one. Technically for NAS. Technically you should be in one already. Should be in the same positions from last week unless you already closed out everything. I did have some buy limits right here at this structure. And I'm like I said, I'm waiting for a 15-minute time frame confirmation, something to give me a nice indication that price wants to continue. Boom, a nice sweep break above. I want to see something clean like that. We technically did break this high, but this is just not too clean in my opinion. It wasn't enough build up. We'll see what they want to do. Boom, right in there. So if it wants to go lower, that's perfectly fine. We also have the option of price even sweeping these lows right in there. That's a very huge possibility. So buy limit here as well at these lows. But again, this is the whole entire range from the swing low to this high. The discount zone, the 50%, is right here as well. So if that happens, I'm not going to be surprised or shocked. You know, if it doesn't happen, it is what it is. The structure decides to hold out there. But again, we have a lot of red news, red folder news. That's going to bring some more volatility in the market. So you have to be willing to allow price to maneuver in here and just stack your orders. Stack it up. But that's all we got for this week. Any questions? Any questions? You guys got anything that you're looking at? Any trades you plan on taking for the week? Any trades you're still in? Someone said, isn't that our stop loss? Yes, that is your stop loss for this setup here. Right? If you're looking at this, if you're looking at the setup for this, then yeah. Boom, liquidity, sweep, break above. Technically, that's a stop loss, but sometimes setups need to get stop loss in order to capture all of this liquidity, because all of this is liquidity. Everyone who believed in the setup has their stop loss here. Sometimes liquidity needs to get swept in order for price to continue. If you go to the weekly time frame, that same stop loss, that's the previous weekly low, right? But I always say, if there's always potential for price to reverse after we sweep lows. Same thing up here, right? We came to these highs where people had their stop loss for the sells. Price came and swept all their stop losses, and then price sold off. So if price were to sweep these lows and then continue higher, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine with me. I wouldn't mind that. The same way price came back here, you know, this low, that's someone's stop loss, right? Price swept it, someone's stop loss, and then it flew. It flew all the way to the highs and swept their stop loss, and then sweep their stop. Like, everyone's stop loss is getting swept. No one is safe. That's why you got to under leverage and have a wider stop loss over a bigger zone. Like, my stop loss is these lows down here. I'm looking at the whole range. I'm looking at these lows to the highs. Like, this stop loss, that's the 50% Fibonacci. So you never know. If you wanted to only take high confidence trade, wouldn't it be best to say, for example, to only take positions at the sweep of a weekly low? It's up to you and your individual trading plan. But I'm confident, like if you're confident in all your trades, like if we're trading, let's say, just the structure, it doesn't really matter. Like, structure doesn't always have to sweep the weekly lows. Right? Price can continue without sweeping lows. It can continue without following like a certain set of rules, as long as structure is being respected. That's all that matters. Like we see here, price flew from 18,000 all the way to 22,000. Right? Over 3,600 pips, but we didn't sweep the previous weekly low. Right? Price just took off. We didn't sweep these lows. Right? So, I mean, price doesn't always have to, maybe on a different time frame it did, but we don't know what it wants to do. We don't know what price wants to do. So, but those are always going to be like discount trades or like lower risk trades. But I don't discriminate. Right? If the market is giving me bullishness, I'm taking buys. Like for instance, in that case, we would have to have gone down and to find a sweep over. Yes, exactly. Like that. That would have been a different type of setup. If you looked here, the setup would have been somewhere in this candle. Boom. Let's take a look. Let's go to the 4-hour. Sheesh, that was a crazy overlap. Yeah, that was a nasty play. Yeah, so as soon as these highs were broken, it was game. It was game on. As soon as price broke above, if you look in this area here, the closest highs will either be these highs or these highs. I'm gonna use these though. Boom. We broke above the highs. Full body candle. Retested, gone, retested. Filled in some of this imbalance. Right there. Right, it was in balance. We came back for the retest. Now it's no longer in balance. Boom, price takes off and just gone. I asked because essentially when writing your rules and knowing when and when not to trade the setup. Yeah, it's up to you. It's up to you. However you want to do it for yourself psychologically. If you have certain rules where, hey, you know what, at this certain time I'm not going to trade the setup, then go ahead and do that. It's really up to you. I trade differently. So if that's how you trade psychologically, it is what it is. If I see a setup, I'm taking it in an uptrend. Like for instance, last week, we saw these buys right in here. We did call out. We put them in the chat. We had a setup up in here. Boom. Sweep. Break above. Retest and gone. Price flew for over 200 pips. Super solid. And then it came right back to the same setup and flew again. But the thing is, if I zoom back out, we see that we're pretty high up, right? We're pretty high up in the market. In fact, we're even near a potential sell area. But in these types of trades, you have to just know that if you're trading at these levels, it's a high risk trade automatically. So anytime we take, like for me personally, if I take trades at highs, I know in the back of my mind that it's a high risk trade. And so should you. Right? That's why we always emphasize the Fibonacci. That's why we always emphasize discount and premium zones. So if we're willing to buy at a premium price, that's fine. Right? I'm willing to buy at premium prices and discount prices. To me, it doesn't really matter. I don't care what price it's at, premium or discount, because me, I'm position trading. I'm holding my trades for weeks and months. So at the end of the day, you know, if you're looking for precision and you like maybe a scalper or like intraday trader, yeah, if you're like an intraday trader and you're looking for like a scalp or you're probably going to trade for the day or a couple of days, and yeah, of course you want to go ahead and get those premium and discount areas. You want to be looking for the discount to get the best possible risk to reward because you're trading on a smaller time frame or you're probably not going to be holding your trade for that long. Yeah, if you're intraday, go ahead. It's really up to you and how you trade. Everyone is different. Me, I'm long-term trading, like holding for months. So I'm not really too concerned about getting a premium or a discount price. I'm more concerned with positioning myself inside of a nice area of accumulation on the highest time frame possible. So if I can get like a monthly accumulation going, or a weekly or a daily or 4-hour, then regardless if it's premium or discount, I'm in there. So me, I like this whole area. I don't mind taking trades within this whole area here. So then when price actually does decide to continue in this direction, let's say this much, I've already accumulated a huge position over multiple entries, so that when price does decide to make a move, I'm already stacked up. So I don't have to worry about really taking any additional more trades in this whole move up and this markup phase, because I'm already stacked. So that allows you to, take a back seat and just manage the trade. You're not really focused on, taking any more entries. You've already gotten a nice position. And let's say this trade runs for months, 6 months, 3 months, like you're good. The same way we accumulated orders back over here, right? Price gave us a nice liquidity. We sweep all these lows, break above, came back for the retest. We got some very nice accumulation in this area. We got more setups, and then price flew all the way to the all-time highs. Took major profits, letting the runners run. So now we're just here doing the same thing, getting another stack, another position to add on to here. So now you have 2 positions running that are stacked. And then just rinse and repeat that process over and over. But if we're in here trying to scalp every day and find a new setup every 16 minutes, then hey, you definitely want to make sure you're getting setups in the discount zones, right? So it's really, especially if you're brand new, you want to just keep it simple. Draw the fib from the lows to the highs, find your discount area, and only trade from that and below. Boom. Right? If you have more experience, if you're willing to have more drawdown, if you're trading differently, then hey, do what you want to do. But if you're a beginner, you're still new, do what you must do. That makes the most sense for you. But this is how I do it specifically. Right in there. What else are you guys looking at? Let's see. Ethereum and Bitcoin is still up here. Even with Bitcoin, I would still prefer to catch, these buys down here as well. Right? If you look at the fib, boom, to the highs, I'd rather catch it over here, mainly because it just looks too clean. Right? This is too much of a gap, especially on the monthly time frame. There's just too much of an imbalance. If something looks like this on like a monthly or weekly, then I'm definitely more ready for something in the discount area. But if the structure is very good and there's not really many gaps, then essentially that's healthy price action. If you look at NAS, there's not really many gaps that haven't been filled besides, I would say, this one here. Right, this gap right there, and then these down here. But we've already broken previous all-time highs, and ever since we broke these highs, it's been healthy price action. There's no imbalances on the monthly at all. The only monthly imbalance that we had was essentially here when price never gave us the retest, and we finally got the retest. So because we've already balanced the market and it's healthy price action, then to me, that looks like, if you're looking at like a smart money narrative, smart monies are already filled in higher time frame bias. So we're on track to continue, right? Even on the weekly, there's not any weekly imbalances either that haven't been filled, except, back on those lower areas, maybe somewhere down in here. But we'll see. Anything can happen. Anything can happen, really. But so far, so good. Super excited for this week. I am going to be loading up on buys in this area. And if you do go lower, boom, I'll be getting even more buys in there. At this area, at these lows, the previous weekly lows lines up perfectly with the EMA as well and the 50%. So let's see what they want to do. What's 6E? What is 6E?